The volatile interplay between technology politics and personal animosity has once again dominated headlines, with Elon Musk's public expression of regret over his recent attacks on President Donald Trump marking a dramatic turn in their high-stakes feud. This rapprochement, coming after days of sharp exchanges, underscores the intricate dance between powerful figures whose influence spans from Silicon Valley to Washington, D.C., with far-reaching implications for policy, industry, and global stability. The public spat between the billionaire entrepreneur and the president escalated last week, reportedly triggered by Mr. Musk's criticism of Mr. Trump's Big Beautiful Bill and his subsequent departure from a special government employee role. The feud spiraled into a series of personal insults, including Mr. Trump's assertion that he never needed Mr. Musk's help to get elected, and Mr. Musk's controversial attempt to link the president to the sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, posts he later deleted. However, a quiet diplomatic effort behind the scenes involving Vice President J.D. Vance and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles paved the way for Mr. Musk's recent concession. Sources familiar with the matter indicate that Mr. Musk's decision to apologize, an admission he initially seemed unwilling to make, even asking an ex-user, "What's the apology for exactly?" was partly driven by the humiliating withdrawal of Jared Isaacman's nomination to run NASA, a close associate of Musk's. "I regret some of my posts about President at Real Donald Trump last week. They went too far," Mr. Musk posted on X, signaling a desire for a truce. While President Trump publicly remained non-committal, stating, "I really haven't thought too much about it," when asked about the outreach. The behind-the-scenes efforts suggest a mutual recognition of the significant leverage both parties hold. Mr. Musk, a prolific Republican donor who had pledged an additional $100 million to Mr. Trump's outside groups for the 2026 midterms, also oversees SpaceX, a company with billions in federal contracts. For Mr. Trump, avoiding a repeat of his first term, where former aides became critical voices or witnesses in legal entanglements, is a clear incentive for détente. Mr. Musk's history of public apologies, including to a British cave expert in 2018 and a former employee in 2023, points to a pattern of tactical contrition when faced with significant fallout. Beyond the personal drama, this period has seen significant policy shifts reflecting the administration's broader agenda. In a move that directly impacts Mr. Musk's flagship company Tesla and the broader green energy sector, the Trump administration has begun dismantling electric vehicle EV standards. This action, seen as a direct strike against both California's progressive environmental policies and Mr. Musk's business interests, highlights a clear ideological clash over technological advancement and regulatory oversight. Meanwhile, Mr. Musk's enduring, if sometimes volatile, influence continues to resonate in unexpected corners, with Axios noting the Elon Musk Doge legacy that just won't die, hinting at his lasting impact on the cryptocurrency market even as his attention shifts to political maneuvering. The administration's approach to expert bodies and scientific consensus is also under scrutiny. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. stirred controversy by firing the entire Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices (ACIP) and appointing new members, including prominent critics of federal scientists and vaccine policies. Among the new appointees are Dr. Robert Malone, known for promoting conspiracy theories and unproven COVID-19 treatments, and Martin Kulldorff, a biostatistician who opposed vaccine mandates and co-authored the Great Barrington Declaration. Dr. Paul Offit of the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, a former committee member, lamented that Mr. Kennedy lost the trust of the medical community, while Richard H. Hughes, for a vaccine law expert, characterized 4 of the new members as COVID-19 deniers, skeptics, and outright anti-vaccine individuals. This overhaul raises questions about the future of public health policy and the role of scientific independence in an increasingly politicized landscape. In the defense sector, the administration's America First stance and anti-woke rhetoric are reshaping military priorities and operations. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, a vocal proponent of these views, declared at Fort Bragg, reverted from Fort Liberty. "We're not interested in your woke garbage or your political correctness. The Army has also moved to restore the names of 7 installations previously renamed to remove Confederate ties, though with a curious twist at Fort Lee, which will now honor Private Fitz Lee, a Black Medal of Honor recipient from the Spanish-American War, rather than General Robert E. Lee. These symbolic changes reflect a broader reorientation within the Pentagon. Furthermore, concerns about air safety protocols have intensified following a fatal January crash between a commercial flight and a military helicopter near Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. Transportation Secretary Sean P. Duffy has endorsed calls for an audit, and officials revealed that the Army's Automatic Dependent Surveillance Broadcast ADSB equipment, crucial for tracking aircraft, often doesn't work even when turned on, highlighting a critical need for improved technology in aircraft. As Senator Jerry Moran noted, domestically, the unprecedented deployment of nearly 5,000 Marines and National Guard members to Los Angeles in response to protests over immigration policies has drawn criticism, with Senator Jack Reed asserting that the military's mission there was about law and order, a civil function under the Constitution, and potentially illegal. Internationally, the specter of conflict looms large, with profound implications for global markets and technological infrastructure. Officials in the United States and Europe indicate that Israel appears poised to attack Iran's nuclear program, a development that could further destabilize the Middle East and jeopardize the Trump administration's efforts to broker a nuclear deal. The U.S. has already reduced its diplomatic presence in Iraq and authorized the voluntary departure of military family members from the region. While Mr. Trump has expressed growing less confident about a deal, Iranian officials have warned of an immediate counterstrike on Israel with hundreds of ballistic missiles and threatened to target U.S. military bases in the region if attacked. The escalating tensions have already seen U.S. oil prices climb above $68 a barrel, their highest level since early April, reflecting market anxieties over potential supply disruptions. This geopolitical volatility is further complicated by allegations of corruption surrounding proposed U.S. weapons sales to Qatar and the United Arab Emirates, with Senator Chris Murphy alleging links to a state-backed Emirati firm's investment in a Trump-affiliated cryptocurrency business and a luxury Boeing 747-8 gift from Qatar. Meanwhile, the administration's controversial immigration policies have extended to international agreements, with Kosovo agreeing to accept up to 50 migrants deported from the U.S. who have little or no connection to the European nation, part of a broader effort to offload migrants to third countries. As these complex narratives unfold, the interplay between influential personalities, evolving technological landscapes, and shifting geopolitical alliances continues to shape the future. From the volatile world of cryptocurrencies and EV mandates to critical defense technologies and international diplomacy, the decisions made today by key figures like Elon Musk and President Trump will undoubtedly reverberate across the global stage, defining the trajectory of innovation, conflict, and governance in the years to come. A pivotal week in Washington has underscored the profound and often controversial reach of the Department of Government Efficiency DOGE, an initiative once spearheaded by tech titan Elon Musk, as both the judiciary and legislative branches grappled with its sweeping directives. From granting unprecedented access to citizen data to pushing through drastic spending cuts, DOGE's legacy. Despite Musk's recent acrimonious departure in feud with President Donald Trump, appears to be cementing itself in ways that fundamentally reshape American governance and society. The most striking development came last Friday when the Supreme Court, in a 6-3 decision, allowed DOGE to access Social Security data for all Americans, even as a lawsuit challenging this access proceeds. This ruling, as Harvard law professor and Bloomberg opinion columnist Noah Feldman observed, carries the strong implication that the court will ultimately find the White House, and by extension the entire executive branch, can access this sensitive data indefinitely. Feldman warned that in practice this represents one more substantial step in the direction of turning the U.S. into a country like China, where the government has a 360-degree view of every aspect of its citizens' lives. The decision raises significant privacy concerns, suggesting a future where personal data, once safeguarded, becomes a readily available asset for governmental scrutiny, potentially eroding civil liberties under the guise of efficiency. Coinciding with this judicial affirmation of DOGE's data access, the Republican-led House of Representatives narrowly approved a White House request to claw back $9.4 billion from funds already allocated by Congress. This vote, a razor-thin 214 to 212, marked a critical test of how easily Congress would codify savings championed by Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. House Speaker Mike Johnson heralded the move, stating, "Under President Trump's leadership, your taxpayer dollars are no longer being wasted. Instead, they are being directed toward priorities that truly benefit the American people." However, the funds targeted, primarily public broadcasting and foreign aid, have sparked widespread outcry due to their profound humanitarian and societal implications. The cuts to foreign aid, specifically over $8 billion from the State Department and USAID, have drawn particularly harsh criticism. An analysis by a Boston University infectious disease mathematical modeler and health economist revealed that these cuts have already led to the deaths of approximately 200,000 children and 96,000 adults, a staggering toll that claims another 103 lives every hour. Prior to his exit, Elon Musk had made his contempt for USAID clear, famously labeling it a viper's nest of radical left Marxists and declaring it was time for it to die. Under his leadership, DOGE systematically dismantled USAID from within, terminating thousands of contracts, cutting overseas operations, and freezing essential programs. The impact has been immediate and devastating, from the suspension of mobile health teams affecting 9 million people in Afghanistan to the withdrawal of support for critical emergency food assistance programs like fortified peanut paste distribution to malnourished children. Even the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief (PEPFAR), a landmark bipartisan effort that has saved over 25 million lives since 2003 and served as a cornerstone of American global health diplomacy, now finds itself on the chopping block amidst what critics term Trump-era isolationism and budgetary cynicism. Beyond foreign aid, the rescissions package also targets $1.1 billion from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which provides crucial funding for NPR and PBS affiliates across the nation. While the Trump administration frames this as a blow against liberals, bipartisan voices including Republican Representative Mark Amodei and Democratic Representative Dan Goldman have warned that rescinding this funding would also isolate rural communities, underscoring the vital role public broadcasting plays in informing and connecting underserved areas. Critics argue that these cuts, rather than reflecting genuine fiscal responsibility, are cruelty masquerading as cost-cutting and an extension of the administration's obsession with winning the culture wars and clamping down on a free press. Especially given the administration's continued spending on costly endeavors like military parades. These actions by DOGE and the administration it serves are not occurring in a vacuum, but within a broader landscape of intense legal challenges. As of June 12, at least 184 rulings have temporarily paused some of the Trump administration's initiatives, a testament to the aggressive legal pushback against its agenda. Lawsuits span a multitude of categories, from immigration policies like the controversial deportation of Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia and the attempted halt of Harvard University's international student enrollment, to challenges against the revocation of humanitarian programs for migrants and the detention of students like Rumeysa Öztürk and Mahmoud Khalil for protected speech. Other significant legal battles include those over birthright citizenship, the summary firings of thousands of federal employees, the reversal of Biden-era climate and environmental protections attempts to freeze federal funding to states, and moves to prohibit recognition of transgender people's gender identity, including their housing in prisons or access to medical treatments. A federal judge previously ruled against DOGE's takeover and gutting of the U.S. Institute of Peace, calling it an unlawful and gross usurpation of power, though the administration appealed. The constant legal skirmishes highlight a pervasive tension between executive power and established legal frameworks, with courts frequently stepping in to curb what is perceived as overreach. As the rescissions package now heads to the Senate and the Supreme Court continues to deliberate on the full scope of DOGE's access to Social Security data, the long-term ramifications for American society and its governmental structure remain uncertain. The confluence of judicial deference to executive data access and congressional endorsement of sweeping impactful budget cuts signals a significant shift in power dynamics. One that prioritizes a vision of efficiency and control over traditional safeguards for privacy and humanitarian aid. The ongoing legal battles and the deepening partisan divide suggest that the debate over the appropriate scope of government power and its impact on individual lives is far from over, with every decision setting a precedent for the future of American governance. Tesla, once the undisputed titan of electric vehicle innovation, finds itself navigating increasingly turbulent waters. As its stock continues a downward trend, a recent refresh of its flagship Model S and Model X vehicles has ignited a new wave of concern and criticism, with many questioning the automaker's strategic direction and commitment to its premium offerings. The updates, largely incremental and accompanied by a notable price hike, appear to have fallen short of consumer and investor expectations, further complicating the narrative for a company already under intense scrutiny. Unveiled on June 13, 2025, the updated Model S and Model X boast a series of minor enhancements rather than a revolutionary overhaul. Both vehicles now promise a smoother ride attributed to new bushings and a tweaked suspension design, alongside a quieter cabin experience thanks to improved noise cancellation and reduced wind and road noise. Interior aesthetics see an upgrade with a multicolor ambient lighting system now extending to the dashboard, center console and doors, with LED footwell and door pocket lights offering customizable hues. On the exterior, adaptive driving beams, new wheel designs for improved aerodynamics, and a new frost blue paint option are available. Practical additions include a front bumper camera with a dedicated washer for enhanced visibility, and the Model X gains a modest 2.5 cubic feet of additional cargo space, bringing its total to 94.5 cubic feet, along with slightly more room for third-row passengers. Notably, the controversial yoke steering wheel, once standard, is now an optional $1,000 add-on exclusively for the Plaid trims, while base versions revert to a traditional wheel. However, the most significant change, according to Electrek, is indeed the price. All versions of the refreshed Model S and Model X now carry a $5,000 premium. The base Model S all-wheel drive, offering an impressive 410 miles of range, making it the longest-range Tesla in the current lineup, starts at $86,630. The Model S Plaid, despite seeing its estimated range increase from 348 to 368 miles, now comes with a reduced top speed of 149 miles per hour, down from a blistering 200 miles per hour, and costs $101,630. This performance trade-off, alongside a 26-pound weight increase for the Plaid variant, has raised eyebrows. Similarly, the Model X all-wheel drive starts at $91,630 with 352 miles of range, an increase of 38 miles. While the Model X Plaid, priced at $106,630, offers 335 miles of range, up by 21 miles, but is a substantial 186 pounds heavier, tipping the scales at 5,435 pounds. The reaction from the online community, particularly on Tesla's official X account, has been overwhelmingly negative. As Inside EVs reported, many disgruntled enthusiasts wasted no time expressing their disappointment, pointing out the absence of advanced technologies seen in the Cybertruck, such as steer-by-wire rear-wheel steering or an 800-volt battery pack. One commenter bluntly stated, "No steer-by-wire. No 800V. No additional power. You're falling behind, guys." Another echoed this sentiment, remarking, "Not impressed by this refresh. Go look at what Rivian, Lucid, Escalade IQ and EV9 are doing and copy that. People want real three-row SUVs with more range and tech, and this isn't that." The perception is that these aging flagships received a superficial facelift rather than a substantive upgrade necessary to compete in an increasingly crowded and innovative luxury EV market. The increased price, combined with the lack of cutting-edge features and even a reduction in top speed for the performance-oriented Plaid, makes the more affordable and recently updated Model 3 and Model Y even more appealing to prospective buyers. Industry observers suggest the decision to lower the Plaid's top speed might be driven by product liability concerns and the high cost of tire replacements at extreme velocities, while improved sound levels aim to compete with rivals like the Lucid Air. Critics also highlight the continued use of the 18,650-based 100 kWh battery pack, which was introduced with the P100D back in 2016, signaling a lack of fundamental powertrain innovation. This lukewarm reception comes at a time when sales of the Model S and Model X have significantly dwindled. Tesla's delivery reports now relegate these once pioneering models to the other models category alongside the Cybertruck and Semi. Last year, the combined deliveries for this category totaled 85,133 units globally, a mere fraction compared to the staggering 1.4 million combined deliveries for the Model 3 and Model Y. This stark disparity in sales volume likely explains Tesla's seemingly minimal investment in refreshing its premium sedans and SUVs, as the company's focus appears to have shifted dramatically towards mass-market vehicles, the nascent Cybertruck, and ambitious projects like the Optimus humanoid robot and the much-anticipated robotaxi service. As Tesla navigates this period of transition, the muted updates to its premium lineup underscore a critical juncture. While the company continues to push boundaries in AI and autonomous driving, its traditional automotive offerings face mounting pressure from competitors who are rapidly catching up and in some cases surpassing Tesla in luxury technology and perceived value. The challenge for Tesla moving forward will be to balance its visionary projects with the need to maintain relevance and innovation across its entire product portfolio, particularly in the high-margin luxury segment where consumer expectations for cutting-edge technology and performance remain exceptionally high. How the market responds to these latest changes and whether Tesla's long-term strategy will ultimately justify its current priorities remains a compelling narrative for the electric vehicle industry. Even a day traditionally associated with misfortune couldn't deter the relentless march of private space exploration. As SpaceX prepared for its latest Starlink mission from Cape Canaveral on Friday, June 13, 2025. This launch, however, unfolds against a backdrop of recent complexities, including a significant delay to a private human spaceflight mission destined for the International Space Station, underscoring both the ambitious pace and inherent challenges of modern rocketry. The focus of Friday's activity is the Starlink 12-26 mission, set to deliver 23 of SpaceX's Starlink V2 mini satellites into low Earth orbit. Among these, 13 are equipped with direct-to-cell capabilities, a rapidly expanding feature aimed at enhancing global connectivity. The Falcon 9 rocket, marking its 490th launch for the company, is slated for liftoff from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station at 11:21 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 15:21 UTC. Weather conditions for the launch window, which originally opened at 7:45 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, were initially promising, with an 85% chance of favorability, though this dropped to 60% towards the window's close. Launch weather officers noted on Thursday that the Atlantic Ridge will remain to the north of central Florida through late week, with a continuation of low-level onshore flow, adding that some decrease in column moisture through the atmosphere is noted into the weekend as another round of Saharan dust influences the local atmosphere. Despite this regime will still support onshore moving showers during the night and morning hours along the coast, with early daily seabreeze formation focusing more widespread shower and thunderstorm activity inland during the afternoon and evening hours, with cumulus cloud rules being the primary concern against liftoff. This particular mission will utilize the Falcon 9 first stage booster B-1078 for its 21st flight, a testament to SpaceX's pioneering reusability efforts. Its impressive flight history includes high-profile missions such as NASA's Crew 6A Spacemobile's Bluebird 1-5 and USSF-124. Following liftoff, B-1078 is programmed to execute a precision landing on the drone ship, a shortfall of gravitas in the Atlantic Ocean, which, if successful, would mark the 113th touchdown on that vessel and the 462nd booster landing overall for SpaceX. The continuous deployment of Starlink satellites, particularly those with direct-to-cell functionality, highlights the rapid expansion of the constellation. To date, SpaceX has launched 661 of these advanced direct-to-cell Starlink satellites, with 273 of them deployed in 2025 alone. Dr. Jonathan McDowell of the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, a keen observer of satellite populations, recorded 7,734 Starlink satellites in orbit before this launch, with 6,846 of them currently operational. However, the relentless pace of Starlink deployment exists alongside the more intricate and sometimes delayed world of crewed spaceflight. Just days prior, a private mission to the International Space Station ISS organized by Houston-based Axiom Space, known as X4, faced a significant delay. The flight, which was initially scheduled to launch Wednesday from NASA's Kennedy Space Center, was postponed due to a dual set of issues. Firstly, an air leak was detected in the Russian-built Zvezda service module of the ISS. NASA, collaborating with Russia's Roscosmos, is actively investigating a new pressure signature that emerged after recent repair work in a rear section of the module. Cosmonauts have performed inspections and sealed additional areas, with the segment now reported to be holding pressure, but further assessment is needed. Secondly, the Falcon 9 rocket designated for the X4 mission also experienced a technical hiccup. SpaceX engineers discovered a liquid oxygen fuel leak during an inspection of the booster. The company stated on X that it requires time for repairs, and a new launch date will be announced pending completion of the work and range availability. The X4 mission is notable for its international crew led by retired NASA astronaut Peggy Whitson, who holds the record for most days in space by an American. She will be joined by pilot Shubhanshu Shukla from the Indian Space Research Organization, mission specialist Sław Uznański of the European Space Agency Poland, and mechanical engineer Tibor Kapu from Hungary. For Shukla, Uznański and Kapu, this mission will mark a historic first for their respective countries in living and working aboard the ISS. During their anticipated 2-week stay, the crew plans to conduct a range of scientific experiments, including studies on muscle regeneration and the growth of edible microalgae in microgravity. While the exact cost of the X4 mission remains undisclosed, previous Axiom space expeditions have reportedly carried a price tag of around $55 million per seat. These concurrent events paint a vivid picture of the current state of the space industry, one marked by the rapid, almost routine deployment of satellite constellations for commercial services driven by the efficiencies of reusable rocketry, and another characterized by the meticulous, often delayed but ultimately critical endeavors of human spaceflight and international collaboration. The success of Starlink 12-26 will further cement SpaceX's dominance in orbital internet, while the delays to X4 serve as a potent reminder of the inherent complexities and shared responsibilities involved in maintaining and utilizing the fragile ecosystem of human presence in low Earth orbit. Pointing to a future where both high-volume commercial services and intricate human exploration continue to push the boundaries of what is possible beyond our planet. In an astonishing turn of events that has left many observers questioning the very nature of digital discourse, Elon Musk, the enigmatic owner of X, formerly Twitter, recently found himself in the unprecedented position of publicly apologizing for his own online conduct. The apology, a rare display of contrition from the tech titan, signals a potential breaking point in the intensely volatile relationship between powerful figures and the social media platforms they command, even when they own them. The catalyst for Musk's recent public mea culpa was a spectacular online spat with former U.S. President Donald Trump. The feud, ignited by Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill (OBBB) and subsequent remarks from the Oval Office, escalated rapidly across their respective digital domains. While Trump largely confined his counterattacks to Truth Social, Musk engaged directly on X, leading to a tit-for-tat exchange of barbs that ultimately saw Musk delete some critical posts, including one signaling support for impeaching the president. The irony was not lost on critics, with Marina Hyde of The Guardian remarking, "The man who literally owns X has been hoisted by his own platform. Guys, no one is safe." She further quipped about the absurdity of the world's richest man functioning as a warning about what can happen to anyone if they spend way too much time on it. This public squabble was further complicated by the emergence of Ashley St. Clair, identified as the mother of Musk's 13th child, who publicly offered Trump breakup advice on X amidst the escalating online war. Her intervention, following earlier public announcements regarding her child's paternity and reported legal battles, underscored how Musk's personal life, often playing out on the very platform he controls, has become inextricably linked with his public image and business ventures. Such personal drama unfolding in the highly visible arena of social media only adds to the perception of a chaotic and unpredictable leadership style. Indeed, the volatile environment surrounding X under Musk's ownership has extended into its business dealings. Reports such as a recent one from the Wall Street Journal titled "Elon Musk's X to Brands, Advertise with Us or We'll Sue" suggest an increasingly aggressive and potentially desperate strategy to retain advertisers. This hardline approach, coupled with the platform's perceived instability and the controversies generated by its owner, could pose significant challenges for X's financial health and its long-term viability as a premier advertising platform. The chaotic nature of the platform, amplified by its owner's unbridled online presence, creates an unpredictable landscape for brands seeking stable and brand-safe environments. Critics like Hyde have long argued that excessive social media engagement can lead to a form of digital malaise, colloquially termed brainworms. While Trump, despite his prolific posting during his presidency, seemed weirdly resistant to this affliction, Musk, who loved Twitter so much he bought the company, appears to have succumbed. What initially seemed a super successful and lucrative political project for Musk, aligning him with powerful figures and securing government contracts, has now culminated in a public apology exposing the illusion of control and productivity that social media often fosters. As Hyde succinctly puts it, spending lots of time and energy on social media platforms simply means you work for the guys who own them for free. This recent spectacle, featuring one of the world's most influential figures humbled by his own digital domain, serves as a stark, if perhaps insufficient, warning. The causes of this absurdist endpoint lie in the potent mix of unchecked ego, the blurring lines between public and private personas, and the inherent design of social platforms that incentivize conflict and attention-seeking behavior. The impact is a damaged reputation for Musk, potential further erosion of advertiser confidence in X, and a broader societal question about the long-term effects of our collective digital addiction. Whether this very public cautionary tale will shake humanity out of its potentially fatal attention spiral remains to be seen, but the message, delivered with the force of a sledgehammer, is clear: the digital realm, once a tool for connection, has become a double-edged sword capable of ensnaring even its most powerful architects. The coming months will undoubtedly reveal whether this incident marks a turning point for Musk and X, or merely another chaotic chapter in the ongoing saga of social media's profound influence. The ambitious frontier of neurotechnology is buzzing with activity this week as Elon Musk's Neuralink makes headlines with a substantial equity offering, signaling a pivotal moment for brain-computer interface development. This financial maneuver comes amidst a broader tech landscape grappling with market volatility, the complexities of cybersecurity, and the ethical responsibilities of digital platforms, painting a vivid picture of innovation racing alongside persistent challenges. Neuralink, the pioneering neurotechnology firm, has formally announced a significant $649 million equity offering, as detailed in a recent SEC filing. This strategic capital injection, with its sale held on May 30, 2025, and a minimum investment threshold of $12,019, is earmarked to accelerate the development of its groundbreaking brain-computer interface (BCI) technology. The company, led by CEO Jared Burkle, aims to empower individuals with neurological conditions by enabling them to control external devices purely through thought, a vision that has seen tangible progress with recent human trials. Indeed, the company has already garnered attention for its initial implant patients, with one reportedly super impressed by the technology's capabilities following FDA approval for a second patient earlier this year. This latest funding round underscores Neuralink's aggressive push to transition its revolutionary concepts from the lab to wider clinical application. While Neuralink charts its course, the broader financial ecosystem surrounding its founder Elon Musk remains under intense scrutiny. Wall Street analysts currently present a mixed outlook for Tesla TSLA, Musk's flagship electric vehicle company. With a one-year price target averaging $289.30. This forecast, derived from insights across 43 analysts, spans a wide range from a high of $500 to a low of $19.05, suggesting considerable potential volatility. From its current price of $319.11, the average target implies a potential downside of 9.34%. Echoing this cautious sentiment, 55 brokerage firms have assigned Tesla an average recommendation of 2.7, aligning with a hold status on a scale where 1 is a strong buy and 5 is a sell. Furthermore, Guru Focus estimates Tesla's anticipated GF value at $269.85 for the coming year, indicating a potential 15.44% downside from its present market valuation. This estimated fair trading value considers historical multiples, past business growth, and future performance projections, reflecting a nuanced view of the company's financial health within the broader market. While separate entities, the performance of Tesla can often indirectly influence investor confidence and the overall environment for Musk's other ventures, including Neuralink. Beyond the financial markets, the tech world continues to grapple with multifaceted challenges. Cybersecurity remains a critical concern, highlighted by the ongoing confusion surrounding the inconsistent naming conventions for hacker groups. Cybersecurity firms, governments, and even the perpetrators themselves often use different monikers, from Imperial Kitten to Fancy Bear, to describe the same entities, creating significant hurdles for those tasked with tracking and neutralizing these threats. This week, major players in the cybersecurity community convened to propose solutions to this linguistic quagmire, acknowledging that clearer communication is vital for effective defense in an increasingly complex digital battleground. Such efforts are paramount, particularly as advanced technologies like brain-computer interfaces inherently deal with highly sensitive personal data, making them prime targets for sophisticated cyber attacks. Meanwhile, ethical dimensions of technology are also under the microscope. In London, British members of Parliament have raised serious accusations against tech giants Apple and Google, alleging that they indirectly profit from organized phone theft rings. This points to a growing debate about the responsibility of platform providers in mitigating the misuse of their products and services for criminal activities. In the competitive neurotech space, Neuralink isn't the only player pushing boundaries. A rival firm recently announced its own successful brain implant test in a human, underscoring the accelerating pace of innovation and the emerging race for leadership in this transformative field. The confluence of these events paints a dynamic picture of the technology sector today, a realm of immense potential driven by significant investment and groundbreaking scientific achievement, yet simultaneously navigating complex market dynamics, persistent security threats, and profound ethical considerations. As companies like Neuralink continue to push the boundaries of human-machine interaction, the coming years will undoubtedly see intensified efforts in regulatory oversight, cybersecurity resilience, and a deeper societal conversation about the responsible deployment of such powerful technologies. The future of neurotechnology, and indeed the broader tech landscape, promises a fascinating interplay of innovation, investment, and evolving societal expectations.